Hi, today I finally finished assembling my Anet A6 Prusified. I'm medic 3D and I do a lot of 3D printing related stuff. In previous video I handmade the frame for my Anet A6 printer using design from original Prusa printer. As you can see, it works really nice and it looks like Prusa printer. Now it's time to show you how I've managed to assemble everything and make this printer running. Now I have everything ready for the X-axis assemble, so let's do it. As you can see, I've already assembled the extruder, so instead of inserting the bearings, I will use the whole unit. First, I will add the belt tensioner. My X-axis assembly is ready, even the extruder is there, so now it's time for the Z-axis. Because my DIY frame is not perfectly flat and square, I've printed those two shims, which are supposed to go here and here. It should help to make the Z-axis and Y-axis perpendicular to each other. But first, let's mount the Z-axis motor mounts. As you can probably see, I've screwed something up because the threaded rods does not align with the motor mounts. And everything seems to be alright, so I guess I've inserted the wrong smooth rods in the X-axis. And this is not good. Okay, so now I have to rethink my strategy because there is something really wrong with my assembly. I don't know if the smooth rods are too short or if I assembled something wrong, but everything seems to be okay, except that it doesn't fit. So yeah. I've made quite an obvious mistake. I've used smooth rods from my Anet A6 Prusified, and those are a little bit shorter than the original ones from the Prusa. Those are 370 mm long, so now I need to replace them, and that should fix the issue, but I will also need to replace the belt because now it's too short. This time before cutting the belt, I will check if everything fits. As you can see here, the wire has snapped off. This is because the Anet Heatbed design is not the best one. There should be some kind of mount to hold the wires in place. Otherwise, they keep moving until they broke off. And in extreme cases, it can lead to the shortcut. And if everything is alright, the fuse should go off and you are safe, but possibly it can lead to a fire, so always check your heatbed cables. I resoldered all the wires, but in order to do that, I had to use my Prusa heatbed, set the temperature to 100 degrees Celsius, put this bed on top of it so I can preheat it, and then I was able to solder the wires. Now it's time to secure the sleeve and the heatbed is ready to go. Okay, the wires are secured. Now I have everything assembled. It's time to clean the rods and grease them. Afterwards I can attach the heatbed and finally wire everything up and check if it works. For cleaning I'm just using a paper towel and IPA. Now I'm using this lithium grease, just a small amount on the paper towel. Okay, that should be enough. The rods are clean and greased. Now it's time to mount the heatbed, but first I will move the x-axis all the way up, or maybe just halfway up. And the last part for the frame is this one. This is 3D printer bracket, and it's supposed to go here to stiffen the frame. Okay, now everything is ready. It's time to assemble the electronics. This is box for my Anet A6. I've moved all the electronics outside, and inside there is a place for the printer. So now I have to put it inside, hook all the wires and test how it works. And there's also one last issue I need to solve. These are all the end stops for all the axes, and I need to attach them somehow, but I will take care of that later. First, I would like to attach all the wires and check if everything works. Okay, now the moment of truth. It looks that everything works. Now let's check if all the axes are moving. Okay, so all the axes are working. Now it's time to check if the cooling fan is working. Yes, it's working. So let's check the heatbed if it works. So it is 60. Let's check if it's heating. The heatbed temperature is rising here, and it's also getting warmer and warmer. Now I can check the hot end temperature. Set it to whatever value, and I can see that the temperature is already rising. It's getting hot. So everything works. Now it's just a matter of assembling all the end stops and the final check, final setup and first test print. Now it's time to mount the end stops for the x-axis and for the z-axis. I've already had some solutions and that works, but for the y-axis I've printed this item. This is my quick design, and it is designed so it can be screwed to the y-axis motor using this hole, and then the end stop should go like so. This is a little bit long, so now it's time to check how much I should shorten it. I have this screw and a nut because the screw is too long, but using this nut as a spacer, it is just enough to mount it to the motor. Okay, so it is mounted. Okay, so now it hits my mounting plate. As you can see, the heatbed is not all the way to the back, so I need to shorten my mounting plate for the end stop, and now I need to measure it. 3 centimeters. This should be enough, so I've designed it a little bit long, but I will just attach the end stop and screw it, and that should be good enough for now. At this point, I should be able to test if all end stop works and check how homing works. Then I can level the bed and make a first test print. Now I am inserting PLA. That should be enough. Now I use calipers to set the z-axis parallel to the table. Now I can place my PA flex plate on the heatbed. It is damaged here and here, so I will use only this part of the plate. Okay, now the moment of truth. I've inserted the G-code for the chip test phone. I will add those clips here and here. Well, it's working quite nicely, I guess. It's really loud, but it's doing its work. This is not so loud as it used to be, so this is definitely an improvement. And those are first prints made on my Anet A6 Prusified. This is a Pone model made by Chep, and this is the very first one. As you can see, it is not the first and most perfect one. So I've decided to check my profile, and it appeared while I was using the profile for PETG with only changed temperatures. So then I changed the profile to PLA, because this is green PLA from Tarfuse, and this is a nice improvement. After those two prints, I realized that I was using the wrong nozzle size, because in the hot end there was this 0.5mm nozzle and the profile was made for 0.4 nozzle. So I've changed the nozzle, and this is the result. This is quite nice, I must say. There are some little flaws, but it probably can be fixed by further tinkering with the profile. And for the comparison, I also printed this one on my original Prusa Mark III's. And as you can see, there are not many differences. This is the original Prusa one, and this is Anet Prusified one. So those are really okay prints. For the printer settings and for the speeds and so on, I've used exactly the same settings. I've just copied all the settings from 0.5 layer height quality profile from Prusa and copied all the settings to my Anet A6 Prusified profile, and the print time was exactly 29 minutes. The layer height is 0.2mm. The infill is gyroid, 15% I guess, 2 perimeters, 4 bottom layers, 5 top layers. As you can see, the results are pretty much the same. Obviously it can be improved by tinkering with the profile, but as a default one, this is really nice. Watch my other videos and consider subscribing, because in the near future I will be upgrading my Anet A6 Prusified X-axis with this linear rail straight from China, and hopefully I will be able to further improve the print quality of the spool printer.